Welcome to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. Get ready to be inspired, uplifted, and connected to the miraculous energy of unconditional love that I call Mother Mary. If you're a highly sensitive, highly creative entrepreneur or light worker, and you want to magnify your impact and your intuition, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Reverend Frances Faden, interfaith minister, intuitive coach, and author of Meditation is Friendship with God. I can't wait to share miraculous stories, books, meditations, messages, and interviews with other miraculous light workers just like you. Are you ready to magnify your miracles? What are we waiting for? Let's get started. Hello, my miraculous friend, and welcome to another episode of the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. This is Reverend Frances Faden, and I am so grateful that we get to spend this time together helping you to magnify your miracles. Today, I'm going to be starting a 4-part series on manifesting, and I'm going to talk about the difference between magnifying and manifesting, but I'm going to talk about today the energy of manifesting through the power of divine love, and this is such an important topic. I'm going to be talking about manifesting the next few episodes. But before we get into all of that, let's take a deep breath together. Just get ourselves grounded and centered. Take a moment and breathe in. Breathing in the energy of expansion, breathing out anything that you no longer need. And as we are doing this, we are bringing body, mind, and spirit into the same moment. Allowing ourselves to be fully present, knowing that the present moment is where the divine dwells. Knowing that whatever it is that you need to hear today to magnify your miracles is exactly what you're going to hear. Let's take one more deep breath together in gratitude. We can begin. All right, my friend. Well, welcome once again to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. And I am going to be doing a deep dive in the next few episodes on manifesting. It's such an important topic, and I think it's a really misunderstood one. And I'm going to also just be sharing from my perspective. So by no means is this the be-all, end-all, but I think it's really important and really valuable, especially if you're a highly sensitive person, highly creative person. You're going to find out some things about how you're actually wired more than the average person to be able to manifest so easily. So this is called the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. Why do I not call it the Manifest Your Miracles podcast? Why is that? A lot of people would prefer if I did call it that because manifest is such a popular word and people know what that means. And there's a lot going on right now with law of attraction and manifesting. But I specifically was guided for 2 reasons. One, because I work with Mother Mary's energy, and Mother Mary is the great magnifier. Her beautiful prayer in the book of Luke, my soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God. And I have found in my work with her over the last 10 plus years that she helps to magnify the light, magnify the Christ consciousness, magnify your gifts, whatever it might be. Her energy really helps with that. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I can explain it in a little bit of a different way. But most people I know, when they think about manifesting, what they're thinking about is bringing forth something that's not there yet. I'm manifesting something, I don't have it, and now I'm going to go through some techniques and I'm going to have something that I didn't have before. And it's great. I'm not telling you not to do that, but it's a slight mindset shift to talk about magnifying your miracles, magnifying whatever it might be. Because you cannot magnify something that is not already there. This is why at the end of every podcast, what do I say? Every episode I say, key to magnifying your miracles is to remember your miracle's already here. And a lot of what I try to share with you through the podcast, through my own offerings that I do, whether it's an activation that I'm doing or my one-on-one mentoring that I'm doing or a message circle, whatever it might be, I'm reinforcing this idea. Already here. What we're trying to do is expand your awareness so that you start to become aware of something that is already there. And I'll give you an example just in case you're tuning in for the first time and you're not familiar with some of the things I've talked about. Everything that exists in the world right now, the fact that I am speaking and you're hearing me, probably on some kind of mobile device or a phone or whatever it might be, this technology was around 1,000 years ago. We were not aware of it. It was there. So did we manifest this technology, or did we become aware of this technology and magnify our ability to use it and to utilize it, right? So we had to have somebody conceive of this concept of like, oh, what if phones could be mobile? What if, and everything that goes into it. And I don't know everything that goes into it. I just enjoy the benefit of it. Everything is already here. Whatever it is that you need, it's already here. We are simply magnifying your experience of it and your awareness and your remembrance of it. And that's a big part of what I teach and what I offer with my own clients and in my community and in all of my activations that I do. So today I'm going to be talking to you about one of the best ways that you can do that. But I am going to use the word manifesting because that's what people understand. I just want to be clear with you what I mean. So when you're manifesting something, it means that you have expanded your awareness enough that it is now in your physical reality in a way that you can see it, hear it, feel it, whatever it might be. Whereas it might not have been before. It might not have been, something that you were aware of. But now you can hold it in your hand. You can smell it. You can taste it. You can see it with your senses. And we all know that our senses only operate at a certain frequency. Even dogs have hearing that goes beyond the frequency that we have. So we know that things exist beyond our senses, but we want to bring them into our sensory experience so that we can see it, feel it, use it, whatever it might be. Well, if you've been on this path for a while and you've looked into manifesting, which I can imagine that you have, you've probably come across the movie The Secret, which seems like it was out forever ago. You've probably read books on law of attraction. You've probably been listening to Abraham Hicks. You can see all her fabulous videos on YouTube. But in that book, the Abraham Hicks book that's called Ask and It Is Given, she has a series of books that talk about how to manifest, how to have the things in your life that you desire. But this particular one called Ask and It Is Given has something in there that's a vibrational frequency chart, I guess you can call it, where she talks about the different frequencies of energy. And so the thing I really like about Abraham Hicks is that they never talk about things in terms of good and bad or right and wrong. They talk about it in terms of frequency. And if you are not enjoying your life experience, it means you're in a frequency that your dream or your desire is not aligned with the frequency that you're in. So let me break it down, give you an example. If you're in the energy of sadness or depression or despair, you're pretty low down on that frequency. So I think it's a frequency like it starts at 1 is the highest and it goes down, 23, 24, something like that. And down on the bottom is like depression and despair and despondency and all that. And then you go up, one by one, and you get to about 15, and now you're at like anger or frustration, and you go up a little bit more, and then you get to like kind of resignation somewhere around 10. And then you start going into frequencies and emotions that are a little bit more helpful or a little bit more useful if you want to be manifesting. So then you get to the point where you're like peaceful, and then you go a little higher up, you have enthusiasm and all that. But right at the top of that, right at the very top, the number one frequency, the highest frequency is love. Love is the highest frequency for manifesting. Did you know that? Now, you might have known that on some level, but I'm asking you to listen to me today as if you're hearing it for the first time, like love is the highest frequency for manifesting. It actually is the goal. It's the goal, my friend, to be in that frequency as much as you can. Now, Mother Mary's been talking to me since the beginning of the new year. I'm recording this in February of 2023, but whenever you're listening to it, just know that Mother Mary's been talking to me since the beginning of this year how important the love vibration is in this year. And she's really wanted me to bring that forward and really bring it in as a teaching and also as an activation energy, which I'll be telling you about in just a little bit. But she wanted me to make you aware of this because it's so important. Now, a lot of times We focus on other things when we're manifesting. We focus on, our skills. Maybe I need to learn something. We go back to school. We think if we get certified in a new technique, whatever it might be. There's nothing wrong with these things. But if you get certified, let's say you're going to get certified in something that you really want to do. You already have the ability to do it, but you want to get certified because you believe if I get certified, that's going to make me feel more confident. It's going to make other people have more confidence in me, right? But what's really the frequency that you're in is actually fear. You're somewhere on that scale, and the energy where you are is fear or insecurity or whatever you want to call it. And so if you're vibrating at fear and you go and you get certified because you're afraid that if you're not certified, people aren't going to trust you or think that you're good at what you do or whatever it might be. We all have fears, right? You're going to come out of that certification and that fear didn't go anyway because you didn't move yourself up the scale. Now you might go up the scale a little bit. You might be like, okay, now I feel a little bit more confident. Maybe you have a little bit of peace. But something happens. Maybe somebody leaves a comment on Facebook or somebody says something about you or they challenge you. And the next thing you know, you're back down in that fear vibration. And then you're like, where's my manifestation? What happened? I've gone through this many times. I know a lot of people who've gone through this many times. Something I coach people through is how to get through this. We have to understand the frequency. And so, I'm essentially a person that likes to do things the easy way. I'll just be honest. I like to do things the easy way. I am not a work hard kind of person. I'm not wired that way. I think most people aren't wired that way. And when I try to do things that way, it actually makes things harder. So I'm always looking at what's the easiest way that I can do it. And this is why I offer some of the work that I offer, because it's the easy way to get to the top of that vibrational ladder, to be in that energy. Now, what's at the top? You have love is at the very top. I think the next one down is joy. I don't have the list right in front of me, but it's something like love and joy. Peace is a little bit further down. I remember being surprised that it wasn't in the top 3. But yeah, so this is why, have you ever wondered why, Joseph Campbell says, follow your bliss. Why would you follow your bliss? What does that even mean? To do the thing that puts you in a state of love, to be in the energy of love. Now, I'm an interfaith minister. I've been studying different faiths for most of my adult life. And I've noticed something in all the different religions that I've studied and all the different paths that I've studied is that a lot of the practices and things are all pointing you in this direction. Now, we might think they're about other things, calming your mind, doing all these different techniques, and they are. But why are they doing that? Because when you can relax and you can let go, you are in the frequency of love, whatever you want to call it, whether you're Buddhist or Catholic or Jewish or whatever. If you can do those practices, you get into that vibration. That's when you have that oneness experience. One of the best things that you can do is go on a pilgrimage and go to a holy place where that vibration is anchored. People used to spend months and months, if not years, traveling to sacred places. Why? To be in this energy, because they understood the benefit of immersing themselves in a holy sacred vibration. They were going to immerse themselves in the energy of love. And I've been reading this book by Bob Proctor called Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. And lo and behold, on page 106, I got to this point. And what is Bob Proctor? Now, Bob Proctor is one of the main teachers of The Secret. He just passed away, I think, last year. He's such a great teacher of law of attraction. And he talks about this frequency. He says everything, law of attraction is a secondary law. The primary law is the law of vibration. And here's Bob Proctor, who's made millions of dollars, done all kinds of things around the world. Page 106, put yourself on a frequency of love. So this chapter is, how do I start to make these changes? Put yourself on a frequency of love. He says, when you put yourself onto a frequency of love, love is all you can attract. You can only attract that which resonates with you. It's all induction resonance. You're dealing with electronics. Your body is an electronic instrument. It's a mass of molecules on a very high speed of vibration. Doing this practice, he's talking about a gratitude practice. Doing this practice puts you onto an incredible vibration, and you start to attract good things into your life. Things happen that you never knew would happen. Your perception is going to shift, and you won't have bad feelings about it anymore. You stop reacting. When you start asking for guidance, you'd be amazed how fast and how beautiful it is when it comes, and it will come all the time. He says you can do this anytime throughout the day. If you're a little troubled, just stop, be quiet, and ask for guidance. It will always come. Ask and you will receive. Put yourself in the frequency of love. So I'm going to share with you something that I'm doing for myself, something that I'm recommending for everybody that's on my email list, something that Mother Mary has asked me to do. I've been doing these activations where I guide people, put them in a frequency of energy, and people have been having amazing, amazing experiences. I actually didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was happening until I had a reading with somebody, my mentor, and I'm going to tell you what she said that the angels told her about what happens during an activation. She said, the angels want you to know that the service you're doing in your activation blessing is serving alongside of Mother Mary in the healing of karma. It's untying knots for people. Just as this healing allows people to accept the love of Divine Mother and the love of the angels more freely and abundantly, it helps them to experience a feeling and experience of oneness. It's transmuting karma. It's transmuting lower energy. So much so that people will not know where do they end and where does the divine love begin. Now, I just want to clarify for everybody. I talk about Mother Mary. I'm really talking about the field of unconditional love. Okay? She comes to me as Mother Mary because this is how I relate to her. But what I've really come to understand is that they call it in quantum physics the quantum field. It's the field of all possibility. I call it the field of unconditional love. When I'm talking with Mother Mary, I'm actually communing with that energy. It is the field of unconditional love. For you, it might be Mary Magdalene. It might be an archangel. It could be all kinds of things. But this energy is a frequency of energy that is the energy of divine love. It is the unconditional love vibration. And when you can immerse yourself in that energy, things are happening on a level that you're not even aware of. And you start to feel different. And just like, when I was in India, people would go into the Ganges River and they would immerse themselves in that energy of divine love because they believe that river actually is Divine Mother. And every day they put themselves in it. The more you put yourself in that frequency, the more you're able to retain that frequency. So I'm going to be offering something that I'm calling the Divine Love Activations in 2023. They're going to be happening on 4 Sundays throughout the year, in March and in May and in July and in September. And if you want to find out more about this, you can go to my website, francisfaden.com/activation, and you will see all the information about this activation. And for people that do sign up in the month of February, if you sign up before February 13th, you will get a bonus session on the 14th, on Valentine's Day. You're going to get a bonus activation in the divine love vibration. This vibration, I'm doing it and I'm channeling Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. So you're going to have both of those divine love energies. Also working with Archangel Chamuel, who is the Archangel of Divine Love, and his feminine counterpart, Archai Charity. So 2 of the archangels of the divine love vibration, and also calling in the devas of the crystals that will be associated or asking to come forward and help you as well. And so 5 divine beings are going to be helping you. I take people into a guided meditation where you experience oneness, your oneness with divine love, your oneness as a being of love. You get to experience what Mother Mary would call your immaculate concept, the original idea of who you are. And why does that matter? Because we're talking about manifesting, right? It matters because The more that you're in that energy, the more you want to be in that energy. You know, right now you probably have some things, I know I have some things that I'm used to, things that I'm tolerating, things that might annoy me, but I've just kind of, put up with it, that take me out of the energy of love. And yet I just put up with it. Whenever I do these activations, I feel so good that it becomes so obvious to me afterwards of like, oh, this needs to go. I need to clear off my desk or whatever it might be that I've been putting up with that I'm not realizing is pulling my vibration down. The more you can be in this energy of divine love, it activates your memory of who you are. It activates your awareness of how your life is supposed to feel. And as you know what it is, you're now supercharging your intention. So that's a big piece of what's going to happen every time we do this activation. You bring your intentions. What are your intentions? What is it that you're wanting to manifest? What is it that you're wanting to magnify? You bring those. Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, the archangels, and the angels that are here in the crystal realm, all of them will be coming to support you and magnify your energy. Isn't that amazing? So this is what I wanted to share with you, my friend. Whether you can join me or not, I would love for you to join me. If you can, go to francesfaden.com/activation and you'll see all the info there. And I would love for you to join me. But even if you can't join me, I'm going to ask you this week, what can you do to put yourself in the energy of love a little bit more this week? Because I'm going to be expanding on this. I'm going to be expanding on how to manifest over the next few weeks. I'm going to be sharing a really good book that I think encapsulates this whole thing for you. I'm going to be taking you through a meditation. So we're going to be having some fun talking about manifesting. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about it next week, but I'd love to hear from you. What pops up in your head? What can you do? One of the things I do to put myself in that frequency is I go out in nature. As soon as I do that, wow, my heart opens right up. Or sometimes I'll go to my favorite cathedral or a temple. I'll go somewhere where there's that sacred, holy energy, that energy of devotion, and I'll spend some time there. Even if it's not something I'm familiar with, I can feel the vibration of everybody who is been praying there, and it puts me into that energy. Next thing you know, I'm getting downloads of all kinds. And that's why it's so important for you, my friend. When you're in the energy of love, you're no longer in resistance. This is why it's so important for manifesting. When you're in the energy of love, you're no longer in the energy of resistance, and things can come to you. Ideas just come. Synchronicities start happening more because you're now in that flow. This is one of the reasons why a core spiritual practice is forgiveness. It's a core spiritual practice because when you forgive, you let go of whatever resistance you have. You're no longer withholding, and you're allowing yourself to receive that energy that's already here for you. It's wanting to come through you. It's wanting to manifest for you. So what's something that you can do? Something that's going to make you open up your heart or allow you to open up your heart, something that's going to put you in that energy of love. I'd love to hear about it, whatever it might be for you. And so next week, we're going to dive a little bit more deeply into this topic of manifesting. Week after that, I'm going to be sharing a book with you, and then we'll close out with doing a manifesting meditation. How does that sound? I love when I get to do these series with you. It's so, so fun to take you through this process. So again, feel free to join me, francesfaden.com/activation. You can join me in February and you will get the bonus on Valentine's Day. And we'll be working with these great divine beings that are really wanting to help you to magnify your miracles. If you did enjoy this episode, if you know anyone who could use some help with manifesting, please feel free to share this with your friends, your family. You can share it on social media. I love when you leave me a comment. If you're watching on YouTube or wherever you are, you can leave a comment on my website as well. I'd love to hear about it. Any questions that you have, I'd love to answer those for you as well. And if you can, leave me a review. Oh, God, it helps me so much. I would so appreciate a review on Apple Podcasts. That's so important for me. All right, my friend, thank you once again for tuning in. And please remember, that the key to magnifying your miracles is to know that your miracle, it's already here. God bless you, my friend. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. I'm so grateful to be able to spend this time with you. If you want even more inspiration, feel free to visit my website, francisfaden.com or magnifyyourmiracles.com. And if you did enjoy this episode, I would really appreciate it if you left a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever it is that you connect with awesome podcasts. Remember, the key to magnifying your miracles is remembering that your miracle is already here.